I think I have Mickey T. Where is he? Can't find him. Oh, there he is, ready to come up. We've got our first guest coming up very shortly, and they have an amazing story. They've got a very interesting background and a huge, strong will to make things happen. So let's give Mick and Heath and Monique a big round of applause. Okay. Story to tell? Big story to tell? No? No story to tell. All right, no story to tell. You guys have had a very interesting background. Who wants to start with that? I heard some more last night I didn't even know about.
Oh, sorry, I'm nervous.
It's all right. Just pretend you're talking to me only.
Where do I start?
Well, you were sharing last night that you started in Indonesia, and your mother was Swiss, and you had to go back to Switzerland when they broke up, and then you came back to Australia, and then you went back to Switzerland, and when you came back for a time, you're actually living in a car. We moved to Switzerland. Moved to Indonesia when I was 6 months old. Mm-hmm. My dad was a mechanical engineer, so he got transferred to Indonesia, and he was doing really well. He lost his job, and then we came back to Australia, and we didn't have anything. And for a good year and a half, we were living on a block of land of my dad's friend, and as kids, we were in a caravan and we slept in a car. So, but for us kids, it was a great experience. So every night, every night we'd fold down the seats in the back of the car and go to sleep, and then in the morning you'd fold them back up and you'd go to school. And then you finished your schooling, etc., over in Switzerland.
Yep.
Did your thing over there, and then you came back around about 10 odd years ago on your own. And decided that Australia was home?
Well, actually, I came back with a partner at the time.
Oh, right. So we ditched him along the way.
I actually imported a Swiss guy.
All right.
And you were actually a pro snowboarder.
I was, yeah. So I snowboarded for 20 years, still do.
Wow.
So I sponsored him at the time, and we moved over, and I couldn't find a job because people thought, oh, you're from Switzerland, you can't speak English. So, I speak English. I speak 5 other languages. So, but it was really hard to get into working because I came from a background of setting off avalanches for a living, and there was no snow in WA. so I had to find something, and I got into retail and didn't like it.
Very varied background there.
Yeah.
What about you, Heath? You went the army route.
Yes, so I joined the army at 19. Mm-hmm. Had my 20th birthday at Kapuka, and my birthday present was 20 push-ups.
Only 20, not 200?
Because I turned 20, so one for each birthday. So I did 10 years in the army. And then from there, I had a passion for engineering, so I'd actually done my engineering degree whilst I was in the army. Mm-hmm. And then I went into FIFO, so fly in, fly out. Okay,
all right. Well, let's go ahead a little bit more in your story. How did you end up coming to I Love Real Estate?
Well, I'm not sure how I found you, but somehow you were on my computer.
Current theme here, isn't there?
Everyone's computer.
I have no idea. No, it wasn't in my bedroom. I actually thought I was going to be smarter than you.
Right.
So I found everything I could.
Right.
I'm going to teach myself. I'm not going to pay for this. And then that's when it dawned upon me the the most expensive advice you'll ever get is free. So I knew that I knew you were the real deal. So yeah, then we went to the one dayer in Melbourne, and we made a pact going to it. Excuse me.
Not going to sign anything.
No.
We made a pact going to it. There is no way, under no circumstances, will we sign up to anything on the day. We didn't want any pressure tactics and all that sort of thing. And so we signed straight up to Quantum. I'd already made up my mind that it was right, but...
He told me, he's like, no, we're not signing. And then
Got to
we
the
sign
end.
up.
Yeah.
Can you hold that microphone a little bit
Sorry.
closer?
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so you signed up to Quantum. This was your starting position here. So you had a little bit of property, including your acreage property where you now live outside Melbourne, unit in Perth, and another unit in Canberra. So,
Yep.
you know, you're in an okay position, yeah, from starting position?
Yep.
I was a property investor.
Yeah, that's right. So what action needed to be taken?
Well, we did before we actually signed up. We did a cosmetic reno on Heath's dad's place.
Yep.
So we thought we'd spend the least amount of money.
Yeah, the goal was spend as little as possible, which we now know was the wrong plan.
Was the wrong plan. And then we decided. Well, we joined up, and then we did. Did we do platinum?
Yeah, so I had a conversation with you guys about 12 months ago, and you were considering doing platinum because
Yep.
you knew you had all this potential,
Yep.
and you were just trying to unlock it. And at the time, or you still are, you're living regional, you don't have great internet connection, so we've had to, get you all the videos and all that sort of stuff on USB so you can stay connected, and you're doing FIFO, and you've been attending the Perth events, and we had a conversation and we made the decision that yes, this was the best step forward for you.
Yep.
And you really lent into that whole experience.
Totally.
In a big way.
Totally.
And everything that was getting taught, we kept coming back to my father's place and kept thinking, what can we do? And we couldn't justify buying it. So then we thought, well, we'll do a JV with him.
Was that this one?
Yeah, that's that
Yes.
one. So that was
Beautiful home.
that was the reno that we did. So that's my actual stepfather. So we got family involved. So we flew him over from Perth because he.
So with the downturn of work in
Yeah.
Perth, he was actually out of work, so
Okay.
threw him
So
on a
put him to
plane.
work.
Yeah, so he painted that at that time. He painted all the outside, and then that was just for the cosmetic reno. And then we got him back when we did the full inside reno, and he painted. Well, he painted pretty much.
We spent
Yeah.
$30,000 on painting.
Yeah.
And this
So
is,
I see people with their reno budget at $30,000, and we just look at each other and
That was just paint.
this is a beautiful 1850s
Yeah, look at it.
period style
Gorgeous.
home. The history of it, it's been occupied by a doctor. It was a doctor's
Surgery.
medical suite
Yeah,
surgery
yeah.
for the last 30 odd years. Before that, it's got a big history. But, I mean, you had to do a significant renovation to this property to do it justice because it is
Yeah.
just beautiful. And you
Yeah.
can't picture it until you're standing there and looking at the high ceilings and the deep cornices and the beautiful ceiling roses and all of that sort of thing. And the work that you guys have put in, I mean, this has been a serious renovation. I think
yeah.
your budget's up around the $300,000 mark.
Plus.
And more.
Plus. You've gone and created this beautiful balance between modern features like the smarter housing and also keeping the tradition of the house as well and restoring it back to its former glory. So it's been a really, really interesting project to watch.
It's been amazing. So this house just, like, the pictures just don't do it justice. We had this purple room that we contemplated for ages. Oh, we're not going to paint it. And then we've put in everything. And the kitchen was just, as you can see,
I think the kitchen
yellow.
was about $30,000.
Yeah. So, and we found this
beautiful stone. So Heath was walking through the...
We went in to pick out the stone, and I saw a slab of that piece there, and I said, "Oh."
What's the stone?
It's
From South America.
South American. What is it?
I'm not sure.
Oh. Anyway, it's from
real.
South America.
It's real. And I said, "Just humour me with the price," and I couldn't turn it down.
Yeah, so he sends me a picture and says, "Do you like it?" He's like, "Sure."
Just a little.
So have you had this place revalued yet?
No,
Not
not
yet.
yet, but I've done a lot of research
What will
on
it come in at?
going on data that's at least a year old, about 1.8,
So what would that mean as an uplift?
400 to 500.
Okay, good. And are you doing that for your father, or are you splitting that with your...
Yeah, so it's a split with Dad, but so where this came about, like, basically he owed me a lot of money. I'd been paying everything for him for the last 3 years. So I knew that we couldn't move on with property without that money. And in the state that it was in, he couldn't sell it for what it was really worth.
Yeah. So it was a good solution all round. Yeah. So what was this next one?
Camera.
Yeah, so this was formerly my PPR. This is my first home. So, yeah, we were still part way through the Bendigo renovation at Dad's, and we decided, right, let's take a week
Let's
off.
take a week off.
Let's drive to Canberra and do a week blitz reno. So,
So we drove in on Friday. Can't remember. We drove in on Friday and we went straight to IKEA with our plans for the kitchen and just put it all into the PC and ordered it all. And then I think we said, right, we need it by Sunday. And then on Sunday it got delivered and we flat packed everything. So is there one before?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the kitchen before, so it'd never been touched, and then we put in an IKEA kitchen, and I think it was only about three, four grand, and that was it.
So when we were getting market ready, I thought this place, I was certain this place was worth about 230, and the finance kept coming back from multiple places. It was only worth 160, and didn't make sense. I don't care. All right, I'll take that. Whatever. We just need to refinance. And I think it was about a year later. I thought I've got to find out why there's this difference in price. And I worked out from renovated to unrenovated was about $100,000.
Yeah.
So it was a no-brainer. We spent about $10,000-15,000.
So you revalued this one?
Yeah.
And how much did you get out of it? Well, uplift was about another 100, I guess.
Uplift was about 100, yeah. So
okay.
about 80 profit.
Good, okay. So then you still got the Perth place. What did you do with that?
So actually that's my mum's.
Oh, that's your mum's.
Yeah, so my mum lives in Perth. She moved back from Switzerland. So she lives in Perth and she's got this 6-bedroom house and there's only 3 of them living in there. And she would take occasional students because they're literally just down the road from university. And so Heath was sitting in... So when Heath flies in and out, he has to go to Perth and then from Perth up to the island. So he was sitting in front of the TV...
Pretending
to watch TV and sign mum up to be Airbnb. Within 24 hours or something.
Well, almost immediately, she was getting messages on her phone and emails, and she's like, "Oh, Airbnb keep hassling me." I said, "Oh, have a look at them."
And she got within...
Well, their first booking was 3 months.
With a German student that came over, and she's had students ever since. So she's got full house all the time. And Heath, every time Heath flies over now, he's got to sleep in a swag.
Yeah. Well, I was her first booking, actually. She made me book in.
Yeah. She did, yeah. And now he's got a swag, so we've got a permanent swag over there that we can sleep in. So we don't get a room.
Okay, so subdivision, what's here?
So this one, we had some bad news with my stepfather. So he suddenly had a had a seizure and just came out of the blue. Anyway, they pumped him full of drugs to stop him having another seizure, and it basically fried his brain. You'd ask him a question like, do you want a drink? And he'd just... Yeah. So this is an investment property that they have. So, yeah, basically we're doing a JV with them now. So we're going to do a subdivision. That's all that Mum wants to do. She's saying only do subdivision. We don't want to do anything else. So, yeah, right next door, a couple of years ago, they've put a duplex there. So we may end up doing another JV with her, or we may buy it off her or what have you.
Buy the land and do it.
Then we'll develop it.
Yeah.
My preference is to do another JV with them because then they can get more out of it.
As well. Yeah, that's right. So estimated profit on that one?
I think subdivision alone is around 200.
Yep.
And then the development, I'm still doing the reverse FISO on that. Yeah.
Okay. And what is this?
So this is our new home.
Right. It's not quite there yet.
No.
So we live on 100 acres just out of Melbourne, and the building we're living in, there it is there.
That's what we live in.
It's 20 square metres that we're living in and have done for 4 years now. It's cosy.
It's tight.
But we're surrounded by 100 acres, so we can just sit on the veranda and just chill
And
out.
you're going to put this out there?
Yeah, so this is this is a container home. So it's built within a shipping container, folds out. So we've imported 2 of those. So once the renovation in Bendigo is finalised, which it's pretty much finished, then we'll have some time to set this up and upgrade.
Yes.
And this has been a pretty tough road for you guys to actually get to the point of even having a permit to do this on 100 acres. There's bushfire overlays and environmental audit overlays and all these different hoops that you've had to jump through with council just to get a container home on there.
Yeah.
But you've got a big passion for sustainable living and
totally.
off-grid and all of that sort of stuff too, so you try and incorporate as much of that as possible, yeah?
Yeah, so we're completely off the grid. At the moment, we've got 18 solar panels. We've got a backup generator, but we hardly use it. We live off rainwater. When we first moved over, I just started a job and we'd literally just bought this thing onto the property, and I had to get up earlier to go to work to have a shower.
Because we had nothing in place, no water, no power.
And I would walk into work after hours, or nobody would see me with 2 20-litre jerry cans, and I'd go and fill them up so that I had water to take home. We did that for a couple of months, because Heath had literally flown out and he wasn't home for a month.
Yeah,
so I was
at
by
that
myself.
time,
I was completely by myself on this block of land and just had to deal with it. And of course all these big spiders and everything.
And weird noises. We soon discovered we've got koalas. So if anyone knows the noises that they make,
grunt, exactly. So middle of the night, oh my God, what's that?
So more important things than the numbers and the figures, because obviously, yes, you're on the track, you're doing really, really well, but you've had an amazing personal journey as well.
Oh.
Yeah. If we've got anything out of this community, it's the personal growth.
Yeah.
Uncomprehendable, almost, even just in the last couple of months.
So we would never have been able to do this. So
yeah. So
Heath.
as some people know, but most don't. For myself, I've struggled with speaking. I've suffered a lot of social anxiety. So having a conversation, even one-on-one, for me, every time is as if I'm sitting here right now up on this stage. So this is...
challenging. We were speaking last night about guys who come out of the forces, who've been through trauma and PTSD and all that sort of stuff. and having to re-entry into normal society, and how difficult that is, and it's something that you've struggled with.
Yeah, as any military person will probably know, that the comment's always made that the hardest time in a military career is when you leave. So, yeah, I struggled with that, and then of course on top of that I had various other traumatic events that were impacting me.
You were the Commandos and the SAS.
Yeah, so I spent pretty much my whole 10-year career in the Special Forces. So I did the Commandos first, and then the SAS. I was on the very first flight into Afghanistan. I think we'd been there a couple of months and the Prime Minister announced we were going to send troops. Yeah, so, yeah, I've been to hell and back many times since then.
You did a total of 4 deployments, didn't you?
3.
3.
How have you found, obviously getting back into society, things have been very difficult, but how have you found having the community there as part of that, your property mates, Platinum and all that?
Amazing. It's kind of been my new family. Yeah, then the army is your family, and then you don't have a family. It's almost like moving to another country.
Yeah.
Everything's new.
And a lot of the stuff you were going through, you couldn't let work know?
No. In fact, I wanted to say that everything that Kevin said the other day, I'm like,
Yeah.
everything. So for me, it was not let anyone know about any of this under any circumstances. And in fact, I've only shared with my family just in the last few months. And just in the last couple of weeks, sharing it with people at work. And in fact, it's one of the main reasons we wanted to enter, to challenge the video. That was very hard, because it's the first time I'd ever actually spoken my story. So yeah.
You've made a lot of ground in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
So
Part of that journey has also been that you've been on a bit more of a path of, like meditation and things like that, that you're now actively helping others in similar circumstances.
absolutely, probably I had a lot of trouble getting to sleep. I could never ever get to sleep, and I tried just about every drug under the sun to get to sleep. And funnily
A lot
enough,
of them have side effects.
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah, major side effects. So yeah, the meditation, I think the very first session I did, I was out like a light. So for the last 12 months, every night, without fail. So I now meditate multiple times a day, sometimes more than an hour a day. And almost everyone I meet, I just think, I see aspects where they're having a difficulty of some sort. And I'm like, have you tried meditation? Have you tried meditation? And for me, and I think a lot of people would be able to relate to this, especially the blokes, I was a soldier. We don't bloody meditate. What the hell is that? And the very first Platinum event we went to, and it was
I made you meditate.
Yes.
so I kept an open mind to that, and that was just amazing. And then from there, it's more and more the planets just seem to be aligning. So I've gone from, in my darkest days, wanting to burn down my house, everything that I owned. I just wanted everything that was previously me to be gone. I wanted all that past gone. 2 times attempted to take my own life. And it's really sad that so many military people
Are in the same boat. Yeah. But you realise that it's the brave ones like you that are creating the change, that are creating the awareness, that are creating the change that will make a difference.
I think what a lot of people don't realise is I think it's probably just about everyone that's been through the military goes through something similar to varying degrees. And Anzac Day in particular is a very sacred moment for us. And you would expect that when you're doing the march that, you know, they're all walking along and proud, and I fought for my country, and hear people saying, oh, thank you, thank you. Every time someone said thank you, I just wanted to cry. I didn't want to be there. And the only reason I was there was for my fallen friends and family. Yeah. It used to be my favourite day of the year, and it's now my hardest. And the only reason I go is for the fallen.
So what have been some of the learnings out of your journey thus far?
Everything. From the construction in doing Heath's dad's place, just speaking to people, getting builders, and just what you see at the end. It's so amazing what you've gone from and go to. The actual change that has happened, the networking, budgeting, over budgeting.
Yeah, and because I've been fly in, fly out, it's very hard. So at the moment I'm 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So it's very hard while I'm away. Often things stop. And prior to that I was month on, month off, so that was even harder.
So Heath would give me a list. Yeah, so Heath would give me a list before he left, and then
here's your to-do list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I'd work full time during the week, and then I'd be driving up to Bendigo on the weekend just to
do your list.
Do my list. And
but the advantage was we had a home.
Yeah. So
we'd go to Bendigo to do the reno. Yes.
Exactly.
Spiders. Why are you itching?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we actually didn't have a shower up in Bendigo for a while because we were renovating three bathrooms. So
here are your final numbers. And a lot of it isn't quite finished yet, you know, but you're going to have uplift in all of those. So, you know, your cash back out of things is $550,000 up. Your profits there are about 870 thereabouts, and across the lot you're looking there about 1.3 since joining ILRE. That's not too bad.
Yeah. That's good.
So what advice would you give to everyone?
Make the most of what you've already got at your disposal. And if it means it can help family as well, like you save costs on purchase and sale and all that sort of thing. And it helps the family along the way, especially if they're not in a good place.
I guess the biggest thing for us has been not about us. It's been about others. So we've done everything that we've done for others. I mean, we live in a shoebox. So it's not been about anything for us. It's always been about giving back to others, making everybody else happy. So Heath's dad, being sick and...
Yeah, well, one thing we didn't mention is it was not that long ago, Monique's... So the house that we put the Airbnb rooms up on, we got a phone call from Monique's mother. This is prior to this, and the bank lawyers, they were going to take their home.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we helped them out.
So it's like, okay, you need your home. How much do you need? But yeah, they're obviously in a better place now with the
Lots
Airbnb.
of tenants and Airbnbs coming in.
Yeah, my brother is so my brother's 21 and...
He's annoyed because he got kicked out of home.
Oh, well, he's the one that has to go and change the sheets and let everybody in. So he's now got a job. So he gets frustrated.
But if you're doing any JVs with family, make sure you get the formal JV agreement. I can't stress that enough.
Takes all the emotion out of
it almost
Yep.
didn't happen. Yeah.
So we were back and forth for months. And we'd already knocked walls out.
And be open, no secrets.
That might help.
Yeah.
Give them both a big round of applause.
Thank you.